Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the EB2 NIW Podcast, where we bring amazing individuals who have successfully navigated the EB2 NIW process to kind of give us some encouragement, because I know a lot of people need encouragement. This is a long process, right? And so I'm so excited today because today we're going to meet an amazing chemical engineer, Rosmer, and he's going to tell us about his journey. You guys, it's a long journey, but it's going to be worth it. So welcome to the EB2 NIW podcast. All right.
All right, first of all, thank you. I have to say
All
thank you and thank you 100 times if I can.
right. You probably thanked me like a thousand times already. Like you're one of the clients that I have that has been like every time I get on my phone, I see another thank you, and I'm just like, you know what? You are the one who I should thank because you had an amazing profile. You know what I mean? And we just did our best to bring that out and to showcase that. And so I'm excited to talk to you about the process. But give us a little bit of a background. I think for you,
Okay.
you're actually the first non-African approved client that we're bringing on, non-Nigerian. You know, every time I bring a Nigerian, people are like, "Oh, it's only Nigerians that she helps." So I'm excited today because you are also a trailblazer because you're the first non-African on our podcast, and we celebrate you. Okay, but tell us a
All
little bit
right.
about you. How did you come to the U.S. and tell us a little bit about your background?
Okay, well, my name is Rosmar. I am from Venezuela. I
Okay.
am a chemical engineer. I have been working in my area till I think since 2029, 29, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been working in this area. I
Okay.
love my career.
Mm-hmm.
I born in Venezuela and I came to US like with the decision to try to make a change to my family.
Okay.
Um, we decided that in around 2020 was really hard for us because we were living in a difficult situation. Our countries were with a political issues, but
Yeah.
we came here to take a vacation and we said we cannot go back. We have
Right.
to decide to find an opportunity here.
Okay.
And also, I applied at the beginning because I know my case was very complicated. Even though I am not Nigerian, as you mentioned, I am a person with a complicated because I entered like in a tourist visa
Yeah.
and I applied to asylum process. I got in that process as well. And in that path, we find this kind of visa, the EB2
Yeah.
NIW can be an opportunity for us,
Okay.
and we are pretty happy first of all to find you in the social media. My
Yeah.
wife she find you, try to look in um, a person to try to can help us because the lawyers are so expensive these days
Hmm.
and you evaluate our profile, you were so kind, you all the time you share without no hesitation your knowledge about it. And that
Hmm.
was something that we like and we decided to moving forward with taking all your advice. So
Hmm.
since the beginning, I'm gonna say I recommend you 100%. And
Yes.
I know that you're gonna to understand the profile of the person, and that is something that it is important, understand where the people be basically.
Okay. Okay. So that's exciting. So you have 15 years of experience, around 15 years of experience in chemical
Yeah,
engineering,
yeah, yeah.
and you came to the US on a B2 visa. And because of the unrest in Venezuela, you decided to stay back and apply for asylum. So, give us an idea. At what stage were you in that asylum process when you applied for EB2? How far had you gone in that process?
At that moment, I was referring to the court.
Okay.
When I decided to apply to the visa, the
Mhm,
decision was made to refer our case to the court.
mhm.
Um, We only have one audience. In that audience, thanks to God, I got my approval of the I-140, and I
Mhm.
could I could close the case at that
Okay.
moment with that approval. So it
Okay.
was something that was very, 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 very great for us.
Mm,
because we were so worried about it to try to face in that process.
right.
And we trust in the in EB2 NLW process, but we were worried because go to the court is something that I don't recommend
Yeah.
to anyone to face.
Yeah. And what is the process of closing that asylum case? Like, what did you have to do to close the case?
Oh well, in my case, I take the advantage that they asked me for an appointment for the first audience.
Okay.
So you're gonna go to have the like they're gonna read the all the things that they have against you.
Mm-hmm.
Why you are saying you in US? What is the reason why? And is you accept or not? And they are gonna ask you if you wanna if you have a lawyer or if you want to moving forward with the process or if you wanna close. They asking for that.
Mm,
Uh, as a blessing, at that moment I got the approval for the I-140, so I could close the case. I could say
yeah.
to the judge,
Yeah.
Your Honor, I appreciate. We want to close the case. We got this approval,
Yeah.
and they accepted.
Okay, very good. Because I have a couple of clients, quite a few, who are also qualified for EB2, but they also have applied for asylum. So sometimes people say, oh, well, if you get approved for EB2 and you're on asylum, then you have to go outside the US to complete the process. So you're not going to be able to adjust your status, you know? But you're saying that for you, that wasn't the case. You were still able to adjust your status.
Yeah, I think that those cases are
Hmm.
related to the people who, because I applied to my asylum process under when my I-94 was valid.
Oh,
Those
okay. So you
people.
are not out of status yet.
Yeah. I applied to my asylum process. Like my I-94 was for 6 months, and I
Okay.
applied in my third month of
Mm,
staying here.
okay. Okay.
So in that case, we never were into illegal or
Illegal
something.
status.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
legal status, we were legal, and that also helps. Sometimes the people that apply to asylum
Hmm.
they make that decision like in the month 11, month 10
Hmm.
that they are out of the
Yeah.
status here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now let's get to the EB2 NIW process itself, right? So we know for EB2 NIW, first you need an advanced degree. Your advanced degree was what? Bachelor's in chemical engineering?
Yes, that's right.
Did you also have a master's degree or was just the bachelor's degree?
No, I just have the bachelor, but I have a lot of training. Well, in my profile because
Mm-hmm.
I my career uh, have been passed through these years with training. I
Mm-hmm.
train a lot every single year, so I recorded all those training like a 50 training or something like that.
Right.
A lot of hours. So I think, and also with the years, more than 13, almost 15 years. Yeah, it's a lot of experience that made the qualification to apply to this professional high speed visa.
Yeah, and I think that's important because people need to know you can apply with bachelor's degree, but if you're going to use bachelor's, you need to have years of work experience. So Rosemary here had 15 years of work, but they don't need 15 years, at least 5 and above. But it's important to know that he had a lot of years of work experience plus certification. So that's how he was able to navigate that one. Then the next step is, what did you actually propose to do? You know, so for EB2, you need to tell them, what are you going to do in the US with your degree? What was it that you chose to propose for your EB2?
Well, I think my profile was focusing specifically two areas. The main area that was offering and sharing my knowledge
Hmm.
to US basically.
Hmm.
I tend to go and have the opportunity to work in big companies.
Yeah.
I work in Fortune 500 companies here in US, and
Mm.
that it is something that you can consider like something good for you for a high profile skill. So I think the main thing was sharing my knowledge, and the second part was offering that sharing like in the future open uh training center
Yeah.
to certify people similar with my background or younger engineers. So I propose something that is gonna help to you as to grow up in this area,
Right.
offering my expertise like um, the main center to improve. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you had written your petition. So it's important to note that at this point, you came to us with your petition already written, but you wanted us to use our review services to look at your petition and see, okay, is this something that are there any adjustments that need to be made and things like that. And just reading your petition, how you're going to use your expertise to benefit the oil and gas sector in the US, with processes and optimizing processes and things like that. I felt that that was a really compelling application because that's an area that is really needed in the US. So, for those who are wondering, apart from your degree, apart from your years of experience, apart from your certifications, what else did you have that you think made them, give you an approval? Did you have letters of recommendation? How many letters? And from what kind of recommenders were you able to get the letters?
Well, I think the letters are a good support in my profile. I mean, I think I have a couple of keys that potentially help to my profile. For example, I got like 3 job offers, offer
Mm,
letters from different good companies, engineering and consulting companies here in US. The position that I have right now, I'm working as a lead chemical engineer. I'm not working just as a normal chemical engineer. So I am in a superior
yeah.
job position, and I think I submit proof of all the improvement that I did.
Mhm.
With the proof, I include in letter of recommendation from companies and also emails and some technical documents that I said uh, where I improved something. I mean, I made some change in the processes. I optimized these processes. I was the profit to the company, and I
Right.
submit that.
Hmm.
But talking about specifically of my recommendation letters, I
Yeah.
got like almost like a 10 or something like that.
I
10
remember that.
recommendation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put a lot because I am a person who wanna be sure that
You do
I am
your
doing it
part.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I try to also um, put people who was very experienced than me,
Right.
the good professionals. And
Mhm.
also, I recall one person that I met in a webinar.
Yeah.
I was very active in my career. So
Okay.
during the COVID situation, I participated in some webinar with a different person. And I try to be active, participating, doing questions, try to answer, advising something. And one person from a company, they realize about my knowledge and they keep in touch with me and he say, oh, you have a good experience in this area of,
Right.
of refinery. So I think you can be a good person here in US. And when was the moment I said, oh, that person say that, maybe I can ask that person for a recommendation letter. I didn't know that he was a PhD
Mm,
with different articles and also patents. So it was something that
yeah.
was surprise to me and helped to my profile. I mean, try
Mm,
to be active in your career is something that it can be useful, to get that recommendation letter from different people.
yeah. That's amazing because a lot of times when people come to me, they want to apply like right now, but some of them don't have the good profile for it. You know
So
what I mean? But you have been consistent. You didn't know that you're going to do EB2 like 2 years into your career or 5 or 10 years, right? But you've been consistent the whole time. So when it came time to apply for EB2, it was kind of easy because you've laid the foundation for it, right? But for people who haven't done that, this and are listening to this podcast, I think be active is something that you said that I feel like resonates with me because just keep doing your best. And so when you need those
mhm.
recommendations, those people who you've met along the way will be easy to get a yes from them. Because sometimes
Yeah.
people say, oh, I need independent recommender, but I don't know anybody, right? But you were able to reach out to someone who you met, during the COVID period when you were giving all this input in your area at a webinar. And I think that's very impactful. That's very impactful. How about membership in professional societies? Were you a member of any professional societies? And if so, which ones?
Yeah, that is a requirement for apply to the visa. I am member of the Engineering Institute of in Venezuela, but
Okay.
also I am member of the IKE, that is the American Institute of Chemical Engineers, and I am member also of the Institute of Chemical Engineer in UK.
Okay.
So I have and I am senior member in
Mhm.
both institutes. So I got that certification. I also participate a few times in different forums,
Mhm.
and and I think that also it is important, because when you got those uh, certification, you can they can easily tracking your profile, that you
Yeah.
are a person that you already exist, that you are working in the field, and
Mhm.
that you are trying to improve something, or at least you are active. And I think that is important.
Okay. All right. So now you're in the US, you found out about EB2. How did you know how to write the petition? Because when you brought the work to me, you'd already written a lot, right? And so I had the
Hmm.
impression that this guy knows about EB2. Maybe he just needs a second opinion about what he's written, right? But how did you know about how to write it, like the layout and things like that? How did you figure that out?
Well, that was something interesting because in my case, I trust first of all I trust to a paralegal,
Mm,
and I pay some money to the paralegal.
yeah.
But the paralegal she didn't that person did nothing. Basically, it was just um, basically the profile wasn't good. I mean, when you read something, you can read that I am industrial engineer, it's a chemical engineer. I was
Mm,
not adjusted to my profile.
yeah.
I was very organized. So I just start like training myself, and I started looking for in the internet. And Catherine, my wife, she realized about your webpage,
Okay.
and I saw your service,
Hmm.
and you also have books, you have some material, and I
Yeah, we
pay
do.
for it, and I start reading.
Okay.
Oh, that is how you should do a recommendation letter. That is how you should do a petition. So
Mm-hmm.
I try to figure out and try to put something,
Mm-hmm.
and also I try to find, in internet some information, and I
Mm-hmm.
put that in that file. But
Mm-hmm.
I think we weren't sure because for us it's like when you are in an asylum process and you are facing different things, you said, oh, I cannot waste that much the money. You need
Exactly.
to you need to do right investments. So
Mm-hmm.
we met you and we decide, oh, uh, I wanna trust in her. I'm gonna send to her. I want to invest in her service because I think that she knows what we should do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as I said at the beginning, the
Yeah.
thank you is because you share, you understand,
Yeah.
you care about us. You are always ask about, hey, how it go, how is your process, and that is something that we are grateful. And basically, what's the key for me? What's the key of the success? Your
Mm-hmm.
revision about the petition
Yeah.
was a key to have this success with the application.
Oh, that's very good. Thank you. Um, but that you've raised an important point because there are people out there who cannot really afford like the services of like a lawyer to review stuff, or they can't even afford the service of anybody to review stuff. So I would suggest that even when you get the toolkits and you get things and you write something, it's important to have somebody else read it, right? If for example, I tell people like, if you write something, give it to someone who is not in your field, like maybe somebody who is an English major or someone who is in public health, just a different field. Let that person read it. If that person understands at least what you're trying to talk about, that the US has a problem, that you're qualified to try to help to solve that problem, and that even though they have enough people who are in that field, they still need you. If the person is able to understand it, then most likely USCIS will understand it. So it's very important to have a second pair of eyes just go through your petition and give you feedback that will be helpful for you, right? So that's something I always tell people to invest in a little bit of help when it comes to even either writing in the entire petition or reviewing the petition. It goes a long way. Okay, so now let's talk about the timeline for this. You've talked about the fact that you mentioned your wife, so it looks like you had some dependents on your application. So who were the
Yeah.
dependents you had on your application, and at what stage were you able to add them?
I mean, there is three of us.
Okay,
It's my wife and my daughter and I.
okay,
And I added just in the adjustment of status, but even though in the first application I put their information about basically some basic information like a certificate of marriage,
mm-hmm.
marriage certificate, born certificate, passport information,
Mm-hmm.
basically. But
Right.
I added them or her, well, my wife and my daughter into the adjustment of the status process.
Service purpose. Okay. All right. So let's talk about timeline. After you turn in your application, when did you turn in your application? I mean, we have a little bit of that process here, right? When you turned in your application. Oh my God, they showed me how to do this. I did it exactly what he said, and it's not working. All right, I made
Okay.
it. Okay. So I don't know if people can see it, but it looks like you turned in your application. Does it say when you did?
Well,
This one,
that is only for the adjustment of the
adjustment. Okay.
status.
So, but when did you turn in your application initially, the I-140 application?
That one for I submitted
Okay.
in August
Okay.
2022.
Oh, wow.
August 2022, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I received the approval in January 23, exactly 5 months after the application, after I submit the application. And
All
I think
right.
for me it was a record. For me was
Mm-hmm.
a for me was a record
Especially at that,
because
yeah.
at at, at that moment when able the premium processes or something like that, and the people normally wait like 1 year or 8 months for get an approval or a decision, that you have to do something else or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me it was fast. I think we talked to you like probably in July. I think it
Okay.
was in July 2022.
Mm-hmm.
I applied in August because we were moving from Houston to Chicago,
Right.
and we moved and we finalized to get with all your advisors because also we organized the profile as you mentioned. We put a lot of details as you mentioned to try to make easier the file to the immigration agent
Yeah.
officer, and we submitted and we got that approval in January, and we applied to the adjustment of the status in February
Okay.
23. You have
Exactly.
in the photo. You
Yeah.
have in the photo.
Yeah.
And since February 23 till January, specifically January 2 this year,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
2024, we got finally the approval. But there is something in between. We have
Mm-hmm.
a request of evidence and also
Okay.
an interview.
So tell me a little bit about. So it looks like you submitted in February. You also got called for the biometrics. That means all of you went for the biometrics, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Then okay.
for this they use the previous ones from the asylum.
Oh, okay. Good.
They
Good.
use that.
Okay. So you didn't have to go for a separate appointment for biometrics, but then you got
Yes,
an
I did.
RFE even after I-140 approval. So that's not really the norm. Usually people get a RFE for I-140, but what was this RFE for? What were they asking for?
That is something that it is important to know. Sometimes also immigration make mistakes,
Ah,
and this is one case because we have that request for evidence in May, and I recall that I call every single day to immigration after 15 days to try to get that RFE
Mm,
because because it didn't exist. And yeah, it didn't exist that. I mean, apparently because in the interview I asked to the person,
right.
apparently they resend my file to another office in another state,
Okay.
and that what happened. I don't know, the system created
All right.
RFE, but it wasn't real. So for us was like a something like with stress, because you don't
Of
know.
course,
Oh, the
everything about
you have
immigration is stressful.
yeah, you
Yeah.
have a timeline. You have a timeline to
Yeah.
submit it, and every single day you are calling. They
Oh
don't
my
didn't know. They said you have to wait,
God.
and you
Yeah.
wait. Oh my God, what we're gonna do? But suddenly they approve our work permits, for example.
Okay.
In
So you
in
had
that
applied
in
for.
that
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that time frame, they approve the work permit. And I said
Hmm.
that cannot be possible that they are asking for something and they approve
Thing.
your
Yeah.
work permit.
Mhm. Mhm.
And they approve the work permit with advance parole, so I can travel.
Yeah.
But they are submitting this. This is something that is not. I don't know. It's very suspicious. So we
Exactly.
we 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 pray a lot, and also we
Mhm.
ask you. You say, well, looks like it's a mistake,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah. Another thing that kind of stood out for me was the interview, right? Because now a lot of people are not being called for interviews, and so they all of a sudden called you for an interview. Were you like skeptical about that? It's like, how did you feel about being called for an interview? And how did that
well, for,
interview go? Hmm.
yeah, well, for us, it was like, okay, this is the final fight with immigration.
Yeah,
We are gonna go to the boss right now
yeah,
to try to be face to face. So
yeah,
basically, we try to be prepared.
yeah.
We as always in every single step we call you for a
Right.
consultation. You gave us good advices for the interview. We try to be prepared like
Mhm.
as a family.
Yeah.
We review our case, and also
Okay.
I prepare with a letter from the HR from the
Yeah.
company that I'm working right now.
Mhm.
I prepare another extra letter from my supervisor. He have parents. He have a master degree, so he's a person who with more than 20 years experience in the area.
Okay.
So I prepare with that. I prepare with a new certification that I have
Mhm.
and all my personal information, and we went to the fight. So
Okay. Okay. So now, when you got to the fight, did they interview all of you together, or was it like separate? And what questions did they ask you?
they separate us.
Oh
We were
wow.
in
Mm.
different rooms in different hours as well.
Oh wow.
Um, my wife interview, she said was so quick
Hmm.
and easy one.
Hmm.
She got only basically to the form,
Okay.
and they said like she have to wait what is gonna be the decision about my case,
Okay.
basically.
Okay.
The same was for my daughter. My daughter, she didn't receive like an interview form.
Okay.
She only have to be with us basically.
Hmm.
And
How old is
in
your
my
daughter?
interview, hmm,
How old is your daughter?
6 years.
6 years. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, my interview was, I can say, was a good interview. Well, I mean, was very like a friendly interview. You went with a person who knows about your situation a little bit, a person who was like with empathy about your profile. The officer was considering my profile, and when she asked, because it was a lady, she asked about my letter of human resources.
Yeah.
she was like, "Oh, you're still working in the company that you are right now in the same company," and I said, "Yes, yes, yeah. Oh wait, that is something good." And
Mm-hmm.
so, if you are doing something, try to be in the same company. Don't make big moves because it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
help you to the process.
Okay.
Was the basically the main question, but also I tried to put more evidence if she need, and I said no, I don't
Mm,
need that information. I have your file,
okay.
and is and I'm gonna try to do it. I cannot give you a time frame
Okay.
basically, but next week is gonna be Christmas. I'm gonna do my best, and I was like probably she's saying she's gonna receive an approval before New
Oh
Year.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully.
So your
But yes,
approval was not on the spot, right? But from what she was saying, it sounded like she was going to approve it.
yeah, because she got my file there. She was with my file there, and was very organized my file. So it was something that is easy to digest when you put all the information where it should be, with all
Yeah.
the evidence, the support, and also I offer more support.
Mm,
And she was only reading my forum, and that's it. And I said, okay, can I ask you what is the reason of the interview?
mm,
And she said, well, eh, sometimes the interviews are longer with
mm.
heavy question or hard questions.
Yeah.
But in your case, it's gonna be just uh, light interview. It's
Mm,
gonna be not that hard.
okay.
So I felt like something good. Something good is happening. Something good is
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in 2 weeks after that, I got my approval.
Amazing. Amazing. Did she ask about the asylum at all?
Um, yes, she asked.
Okay.
Well, because she was going under the form that you submit for the adjustment of status. One
Mm-hmm.
of the question the question includes if you were or you are under deportal
Approval proceedings.
proceeding, yeah. And I said I was in this case for asylum. I got this, I got that, but I have the document that proves that they closed my case because I want to do the adjustment of status. And she
Yeah.
says, yes, that's right, yes, that's right. I have to ask because it's the procedure. But
Okay.
you don't have to be scared about that. If
Mm,
you are under that, you have to just tell the truth
yeah.
anytime.
Mm,
And that is the most important thing. Tell the truth, and if you have to do something else, they are gonna let you know. I mean,
okay. So that's good because I think this answers a lot of questions that people who are on asylum and want to apply. Some of the questions that they have, they want to know. Okay, did you have to leave the US? What kind of questions would they ask during the interview? For some reason, and I understand it, a lot of people are scared of interview. A lot of people because you just want to apply. Nobody asks you any questions. But when you go for the interview, so when you went for the interview, did you feel like it was like attacking, or did you feel like, oh, it was more friendly environment? Like, how did you feel when you walked into the room? Is it like you felt like, oh my god, like, okay, have you ever applied for a visa and you've gone to the embassy, to consulate for your visa and done that interview? If you compare it to applying for a visa, US visa, like your B1, B2, how is this interview different?
well, I can compare it with three because the asylum process, I got the
Mm,
interview for that.
yeah, yeah.
but but I can say that was like a talking with a friend.
Okay, okay,
She,
yeah.
she was she was like a friend to me. I mean, I mean, you feel like she was with empathy to my case.
Right.
She was understanding my position. She understands that I am a lead chemical engineer, that I keep working in the same profile. She asked me for the human resources letter from a pay
Okay.
stub also. I
Mm,
forgot to mention the pay stub.
okay, that's good.
And the other just question was very friendly, very. We share something about the weather here in, in Chicago. So was never attacking me,
Yeah.
never like doing, yeah,
Oh my.
any hard question to me was something just like a talking with a friend. It's like a talking to you basically. And that
Yeah.
was something good.
Okay. So, I mean, that's good because at the time that this is also how I got my green card. And at the time that I got my green card, we also had interviews. And I remember that the person said, this is a good pathway because these are not people that want to come and like take advantage of the system. These are people that are actually coming to like add value to the US. And she actually said that they appreciate that pathway, for EB2 NIW. So I guess anyone who is like scheduled for an interview, has an interview coming up, one of the things that I get from what you're saying is that you went really prepared. Like I wasn't expecting you to schedule another appointment, because usually sometimes people they don't want to pay any extra money for like any consultations or anything like that. So when you scheduled that appointment, I was like, oh, okay. And then we talked about, how to prepare for the interview. You had your employment verification, you had your pay stubs, you took evidence of everything, literally everything you submitted for the I-140 approval. Um,
Hmm.
one of the things that you said, tell the truth. I think that's very important because these guys, I think they're trained to kind of see when people are not being honest. And so I like that you said that to tell the truth. I also like that you talked about don't make big moves. Because some people get I-140 and they start calling me and saying, oh, I've gotten this job offer. I want to do another job, things like that. And I know it's so tempting because you have to wait so long before the I-140, before the green card. So what do people do when they get new job offers, right? But you're saying they ask you if you're still in that field. So it's important that you stay in that field, because they might ask you about that. Okay, so let's come to the moment when you saw that you had been approved, you're going to get your green card, right? What was that day like when you saw that? What did you do first?
Well, the first thing what I did was say thanks to God, and also I talked with my wife. I
Yeah.
called her. I say, hey, I saw in the app they already submit the approval for the green card. So we have to do something. We have to go to celebrate. But we
Mhm.
wait to have the green card already.
Of course,
And I
of
was
course.
yeah, and I was thinking that it's gonna take like 1 month or 2 months or 3 months to get it.
Hmm.
But no, just take 1 week. It wasn't something, and we got the green card. So
Oh
that
wow.
is a blessing for us because
Yeah,
right now we can start thinking in a really new future, a good
exactly,
future for the
exactly,
family and for my daughter.
exactly. And that's the thing. It's like I love this job because I get to meet amazing people who are doing amazing things, and then I get to be a part of their success. Like, when you win, I feel like I've won. Like, okay, it's something that I had something to do with this success, and it's such a fulfilling feeling to feel like you're part of someone's success story, and you get to see them. Okay, now you have your green card, you can make plans, you can purchase a house. You know what I mean? You feel like you're part of the community. You can do stuff. And so that's just something that I really want to say congratulations again because it's your hard work that paid off, honestly. I know you say thank you so many times, but I feel like it's your work. I didn't know you 15 years ago when you were putting in all that work, doing all those things, and just making your profile so great. But I'm glad that at some point, your wife, I have to give a shout out to your wife because I feel like she found us, but also she was involved in just like making sure, like she would call me, she'd text me what's going on and things like that. And I feel like she also did a lot just, to make sure that this actually worked. So congratulations to your family. If you were to advise anybody out there who maybe is in the same situation that you were at the time, if you were to advise that person about the steps to take for EB2, I know you've said some really amazing things. You've said be active in your career, and you talked about other things. But what would you what would you suggest, or what's some of the advice that you would give someone who is waiting so long to get that green card? What helped you? You know, this is over a year. You know, how were you able to keep your sanity while you waited for this thing to come out?
Well, the first thing is believe in yourself.
Okay.
Believe that you are a candidate, that you deserve this for you,
Okay.
because if you are a person who have a lot of experience, or you are a person who have to meet the requirements,
Okay.
and you did a good things to help to different companies or to your company,
Mhm.
you have to trust in that, and you have to try to be a person also to can get records of emails or improvement of something.
Right.
um, Try to all the time be updating in your career, because in the college they teach you something, but in the reality you have more updates in different technologies. If that is gonna help to inside your profile, and also just try to create networking. That is
Mm,
important.
exactly.
Participate in webinars. If you can write small articles in LinkedIn,
Mm,
you can do it. I did it, for example, and that was the reason that person uh, reached to me, and they say, "Hey, Rosman, your article was pretty good. I think you should join out to this webinar," and I did
right.
it, and that resulted in a reference letter for a great person.
Yeah.
And if you are doing that, if you are working in improve in your company, or in your position, you are trying to perform in the best, you are gonna be success in this. I mean, you have to be patient,
Hmm.
and also if someone tells you that it's not possible, just
Mm,
looking for a second opinion. Looking
exactly.
for a second opinion, because for
Mm,
me, even with my experience, even with my asylum process, I I did like a few consultation with lawyers, and
right.
they said to me, "No, you are
Mm,
not a candidate. You are not a candidate. We cannot represent you.
mm,
Your profile is not something that we are looking for."
mm.
So, and that was something disappointing to me. But I decided to believe in myself. I tried to find the right person, and we find you. And as you said, my wife my wife find you, and also she was like a thing. She participate a lot, organize that file. It was an
Yeah,
amazing
she did
job.
a lot.
Was an amazing, yeah, yeah, yeah. Was an amazing job. And also, her English is better than mine. That's why I was saying to her, "Hey, you have to write this, ask this question to the Dr. Aussie, because you are better than me." But yeah, yeah,
You know what? These are amazing things that you've pointed out. And I think if there's anybody out there, a lot of times I get people who reach out to me who are like Spanish speaking, or, and
mm,
they ask me, oh, my English is not too good. Some of them will actually book consultations, and during the consultation I find that I understand them perfectly, like you, right? I understand you perfectly. But I know that there are people out there who may not have this level of English, speaking capability like you do. And so I encourage, people out there who have expertise in this, to do something similar for that community, because there are a lot of people who reach out to me who I can't help at this time because I don't speak the language, So I always tell them, oh, I can't speak the language. So I want to use this opportunity to reach out to people. If anyone is listening and they do something in this field, maybe reach out to me. So if I have those clients, I can send them to you if you do a good job in helping in this area. I think that would be really good.
yeah.
But yeah,
And now,
congratulations again.
yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And now, just I recall the first consultation that we had, and I recall that we waited like 2 showing your my CV like because the language was not good at that moment. My speaking was not good, and you were all the time very kind with us. You understand that is something that I like about
Yeah,
your service, that you are open, to take this. Sometimes it's hard, but you are working hard to help people. It's something
yes.
that we appreciate it a lot.
Yes, thank you. And so, are you planning to stay in this field, or are you going to go into fashion modeling, or like, is this some? Oh, I got my green card now. I know with this green card, in 5 years you can apply for citizenship, right? So, what is the plan? Are
Yeah.
you going to stay a chemical engineer, or what's going to happen now?
Yeah, well, right now I am working in a good company. To be
Okay,
honest, I am expert
very good.
in the gasoline production.
Mhm.
So I plan to stay in that company, maybe become in a superior
Okay, very good.
position, becoming a principal chemical engineer.
Mhm.
And yeah, for sure, the citizenship is already considering in our pathway.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get that in
Mhm.
5 years after now.
Mhm.
So that is my plan by now. Just
Okay,
try to growing up, understanding a little bit more about the U.S. Markets because it's
exactly.
not, I came from outside U.S.
Mhm.
and and also maybe growing up a little bit by networking.
Mhm.
And we don't know what can happen in the future. So, but we are
Hopefully
so
start
excited.
that company where you can train, you talked about that, so hopefully that's in the
Yeah,
future where you start a company and train people to do exceptional work that you're doing. I think that will also be good. That'll be also be good. All right, Rosemary, I want to thank you for taking the time out to come on this podcast because a lot of people don't want to show their faces. A lot of times when people get approved, they just send me a text, okay, thank you, and that's it, right? But for you, you kept telling me, you kept saying, I want to do the podcast. I want to do like whatever it is I need to do. Please let me do it. And I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm sure that a lot of people would have learned about, because everybody's always asking about the asylum process, so this is going to clarify a lot of things for people. And so people can, know that they can indeed come to the US, and pursue all forms of immigration if they're qualified and eventually get their green cards. So hopefully you guys are able to take a vacation soon to somewhere nice and warm.
yeah.
Finally, you can leave the US, and spend time with your family and enjoy, the success that you've gotten with your green card. So congratulations again. Now, if you guys are out there, we offer so many services to help you with your green card application. So we offer editorial services, for people who want us to review their petitions, we can do that. If you want us to help you with the writing, we can also assist with things like that. So you can check out our website, www.myEB2NIW.com. Thank you so much, Rosemary, and hope to hear from you soon as you keep doing good things in the US.
Thank you so much.